Hey guys, welcome to Geek World. We are your superhero super hosts, Anime, Mistress of the Dork, and the man who never stops talking, Dave! Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, you can go to our website, geekworldradio.com, and leave us a comment, or you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/geekworldradio, and leave us a comment there too.
Yeah,
those are ways you can get in touch with us.
It's amazing.
It
you
is.
know, Anime. This is a monumental show.
What?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why.
Monumental.
It's monumental because we're not just doing the radio show like we normally do the
Right.
radio show like we've been doing for years, but we're also now like recording on the old video there. So we've done videos for our YouTube channel.
I was gonna say
but,
there are plenty of videos on YouTube.
It is plenty, but we've never actually done like the radio show on it this way.
True, it's
so
true.
it's a little like I don't know. We're gonna have to figure this out.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to like kind of like be a little mellow.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, well, I think we can do it.
Do we do mellow?
All the time, non-stop mellowness.
Okay,
that's what we got
You
going
say
on here. But yeah, this is very exciting. So
Dave, I have no chill.
You have zero chill.
Zero.
Yeah, 100%.
Zero chill.
Yeah, no. Let's like just in case like people are watching this or maybe they started listening to us again because we started podcasting not too long ago. We've been doing this show for years.
Yep.
Indie 100, our big station we've been on forever. We also were on Cinefix for a long time.
Yeah, there was a time.
Movies. I don't want to brag, maybe 1-2 trophies while I was on Cinefix for a little thing called Movie Wars. No big deal. It's not the picture is not up right now as I'm saying it.
Yeah, someone hates bragging.
And also, I do. I really hate it. I think it just like says a lot about a person. It's pretty negative. And also Anime Vice and gosh, just lots of stuff. And here we are now, just chatting around
like two people that chat with action figures behind them.
as I think most people do. That's kind of the world we live in.
We do.
Yeah, we do definitely. Let's get to the show.
Okay.
So this week's show is gonna be fun.
Okay.
And I know I say that about every show, but this show in particular is going to be a lot of fun. And we are doing an episode about heroes that are crazy AF.
Yes.
This is a show particularly about like our heroes that are they're slightly insane. Some are like
actually insane.
Well, I think yes, but I think like some are like clinically legitimately insane, and other ones are like enough. They're crazy enough. Like you want, and you're like that guy's crazy. Okay.
Right.
And what I mean by that initially is like we'll be talking about Deadpool, who's clinically insane.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the first guy I want to talk about, or I guess two guys from this anime that we love currently, and I think where this idea is sort of seeded from, is Deku from My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
So if you guys aren't watching My Hero Academia, you should do it. Even if you don't like anime, you should be watching it. I mean, it is a superhero show. It's amazing. It's one of those gateway anime. Highly recommend it to everybody. Yeah. My elevator pitch for the show is like, hey, you remember that Disney movie Sky High? Did you like that movie? Well, this is like the hardcore version of Sky High.
You're not wrong.
It's unbelievable. It's like the best thing ever. And so the main character, Deku, he has this power, and I always say it wrong, but it's one for all.
Yes.
There we go. It's one for all. And basically it was bequeathed to him from the greatest superhero in the world because he's going to give it 110%.
He is.
Plus ultra all the time with Deku.
It's true. Now, a lot of you who are familiar with the show might be going, right, but like he's a hero, he's just trying to give his all, trying to do his best. Yes, this is true. But to give 110%, other heroes, they give their all, they get exhausted.
Yeah.
Deku gives his all, and he breaks every bone in his body to the point where theoretically they cannot be repaired.
Yeah, they literally got to the point they're like, if you break another bone, like you're done.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna be able to walk. And the guy is he's so crazy that like it doesn't matter to him. He's just gonna keep on doing what he's doing because he's such a hero. And I gotta be honest, I have been a fan of superheroes my entire life, and always wanted to be a superhero. That was always my thing, And I do not want to be Deku.
Yeah.
I do not want to be Deku one bit.
Well, this is not like a situation like in Naruto with Rock Lee where, he opened all the gates and then and it just went like too far to the point where he was in the hospital trying to recover.
Right.
But then he recovered and then he gained more strength so that he could open the gates safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midoriya, Deku, he does not do that. No, he goes, oh man, if I do this again, I'm gonna break all my bones. Oh well, I guess I'm just gonna break everything again.
Yeah, he is legitimately insane. And I I will say though, his level of sort of like fierce craziness makes the show so much more amped up and scary.
It does,
because you just never know when he's going to go so far that it's too far.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because they give him a counterpart in Bakugo. Yeah. And Bakugo is insane in a totally different way. Where I mean, this is a kid who kept on trying to make his hero name be like Murder Explosion Guy. Like
King Explosion Murder.
Yeah. Yeah. Like. Do you not understand hero?
Yeah.
Like
no. He has a very different interpretation of the word hero. Yeah, he's a little more like in the Deadpool camp of just kind of like ultra violence.
Yeah. But you know, he's a little bit less insane in a funny way.
Yeah. Well,
but
he's
still.
he's hardcore. He's a hardcore dude.
Yeah.
But he is definitely crazy. But I would say like even Sir Night Eye was talking about like the thing that All Might and Deku had in common was just kind of a fierce craziness. That's essentially. But it's awesome. And I love it. So watch My Hero Academia. So the next one I want to bring up, also an anime, but you guys know this guy, is Goku from Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball saga, let's call it. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. Goku is crazy. And I will say, crazier in the like actual Japanese version than in the American dub.
Yeah, you know, it's a funny thing because like Goku is crazy beyond the level that like that other Saiyans are crazy violent.
Yeah,
you know, and you could stem it all back to the fact that he was dropped on his head and you know suffered potential brain damage as a young child. But the fact is that this is a guy who he will let his like worst villains live, send them off and be like, yeah, I'm letting you live, go recover so that we can fight again. It's like, do you not understand that they almost destroyed the earth and probably will do that when they come back? Like, are you crazy? Yes.
Goku's
yes, you are.
Main goal is to fight powerful opponents and win. If he happens to save the world at the same time, like Mazel Tov, great. But that is not his goal. His primary goal is not to save the planet. And it's crazy.
Or his family, or his friends.
And it legitimately shocked me the first time we watched the actual like Japanese subtitle version, because I grew up with the dub when Krillin was trying to kill Vegeta, who was hurt, and he's like, no. And I remember from the dub, Goku being like, no, Krillin, you can't do that. We can't lower ourselves to their level. And I was like, as a kid, I was like, yeah, Goku, good point. And then later I watched the subtitle version. He's like, no, Krillin, don't kill him, please. I know I'm selfish, but I want to fight him again someday when he's more powerful, and so am I. And I was just like, what? I mean, listen, I don't want to kill Vegeta because Vegeta's awesome, but I'm like, this is a bad hero plan.
Well, also he drags other people into the crazy with him. Like Krillin was like, well, okay, I guess.
And by the way, Goku, I love you, but your decisions have consequences, okay? How, like, almost the entire, planet of Namek died because of your choice. Or at least there were many people that Vegeta killed, and then laughed about the fact that they couldn't come back with the wish because he killed them. It's like, oh, God, that's a bad look.
You did that, Goku.
Yeah, he really did.
I mean, Vegeta, you also did that, because,
listen, omelets, at the end of the day, like, Goku saved the universe like a million times, so it is what it is, but he's legit crazy. He's legit crazy. I think the next one, let's just get into it because he's so obvious, is Deadpool.
Yes.
You have a pretty good knowledge of Deadpool in the comics. I'm a little more of like, I read a little bit of him in the comics, but I'm more of like a movie guy with him, but he's just like, he's legit crazy. Yeah,
no matter what form he's in, he is crazy. Yeah. And you know what, like, it's just a part of who he is, depending on what version you're watching or reading. It might be because of the cancer. It might be because of the treatment. It might just be because dude was a freaking assassin to start with. Like, you gotta be a little bit
low moral compass.
There was always something a little bit twisted about him. But in most of the case, it shows that the cancer and the treatment caused it to go even more haywire, to the point where like the mask becomes the person.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say, though, the one thing that makes him, like, not so insane is his obsession with B. Arthur. I'm like, I get it. Yeah. I get it. I mean, she's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean...
Let's be honest. I remember that, like, Wolverine always hated fighting Deadpool because, like, he was just kind of, like, into the, like, pain of getting, like, cut up and, you know, or, like, shot up, you know, if he would fight the Punisher. Yeah. And it was always just a thing with him of, like, he was both a sadist and a masochist, and he just kind of, like... And he has just no fear at all.
Yeah, you know, it's a weird thing where it's, like... In a way, he's just trying to feel, and sometimes he's just trying to die.
Yeah.
Because he can't. Like, you know, there's a reason that death, like literal death, who is a character in the comics.
Right. Oh, loves him. Yeah.
Which has caused some other craziness to happen in the Marvel world.
Because like Thanos, right? Thanos wants to be with death.
Thanos loves death. Death loves Deadpool. This has caused many issues.
This is the greatest love triangle of all time. Yeah. And, you know.
I mean, you know, wow. Thanos is the mad titan, but not mad enough for death, I guess.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
It's
exactly.
So great. But Deadpool, you know, like, he's crazy in a fun way.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because he's ultimately a hero.
In a fun way.
He's ultimately a hero. And,
I mean, despite the fact...
the fourth wall stuff. Which also, I don't think is necessarily a level of insanity. If anything, that's almost the most sane thing.
I know, right?
Because he understands he's fictional.
Yeah, I mean, he almost is a god in that respect. Yeah, no, it's funny because it's like, he's a hero sometimes. Yeah. You know, in the end, he is still an assassin, but there's something about being a hero that he just likes, that he wants. He wants to be a part of that. He wants to just be a part of that group.
It's like he wants to be like part of the X-Men.
Yeah. I think they played with it so well in the last movie, you know, and like, and he has at different points been able to join up with them, and you know, always to hilarity because he's Deadpool and he doesn't play well with others despite wanting to, sort of.
I mean, that's the thing, you know, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a guy that I think is pretty obvious, even though, like, a lot of people might not agree, but, like, Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, the man is not well.
No.
I mean, as much as I love Batman, and he's like an amazing character, he is not. He's a crazy human.
It's a funny thing because it does get pointed out a lot in different comics or different versions of it. It really gets pointed out. I mean, this is a child that suffered from extreme emotional trauma as a child.
I mean, PTSD, basically.
Yeah, like he was there when his parents died. You know, we've all seen it happen like over and over again in every single Batman movie, and sometimes in not Batman movies. But
I'm frankly shocked they didn't do in Suicide Squad. Like, right? Can we get this in there? Yeah. Like, no.
People might not know Batman's origin.
I know.
We should,
no, it's like every director wants to do that scene.
Yeah, but they don't really do it any different.
No.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And you know, you got Zack Snyder who did it in BVS, and it was like almost a shot-for-shot remake of The Dark Knight Returns.
Yep.
You know, you're like, make sure you get the gun with the pearls. Just like really, really violent. Just make sure that you know the bullet went right through her throat.
But the simple fact of the matter is that childhood trauma led to a lot of craziness in Bruce Wayne's life. And you know, because of that, Batman is... I mean, it's not just that he dresses up and hunts criminals. You know, the fact is, like, you can say, well, he does it in a sane way. He's able to afford the suit that can really protect him. He's able to, you know, to sort of mitigate the risk. But, like, the way that he chooses to do it, the people that he goes after, he did, in a lot of ways, create a situation where the worst villains come out because they want to face this badass hero.
There's so many, like, practical levels where like the character of Batman fails, because it's like, you know, he is definitely perpetuating violence, because you're right, like all of these loonies are coming out because of what he's doing. He's causing chaos everywhere he goes. I mean, even in the Nolan movies that's more realistic, you know, he's like going through buildings, he's like blowing stuff up. You know, also I would say he's created a fine sort of chaos loop for himself, where he like beats up the bad guys, puts them in Arkham Asylum, they escape and cause more crimes, he beats them up, puts them in... I don't want him to kill people, but he's like sort of created essentially a revenge fantasy loop for himself that he can always get his jollies off, like beating up these guys.
Well, and he's also created a situation where he can never have a relationship with a normal person.
Yeah.
You know, like the closest that he has is Alfred, and it's like Alfred almost has no choice but to just put up with the insanity.
Yeah.
You know? And when it comes to like friendship and love, like honestly, you know, yeah, you could say he has a friendship with Jim Gordon, but that's only sort of like
that's a better work friendship.
Yeah, like he almost has a friendship with the Joker in in a twisted way.
Yeah.
You know, his relationship with like Catwoman is the best relationship, like you know, intimate relationship that he has. It is, and that's like that right there is twisted in itself.
Yeah, and also like the the Robin situation's always been bad.
Yeah.
From you know, to if nothing else, it's like, you know, reckless endangerment of a child.
Yeah.
And also he's making child soldiers.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a great bit with you know, the Red Hood talking about that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, just making a bunch of child soldiers, and to all the other Robins, they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and then like getting involved with Ra's al Ghul, like that another thing that's just just leads to more and more insanity.
Talia?
Yes, Talia, like relationship-wise, but getting involved with the League of Assassins and Ra's al Ghul in general, like that, like, you got to be pretty crazy, because Talia was more a love thing, you know, for at least a time.
Yeah,
it did create a child.
Yeah, and you always kind of wonder, like, you know, I guess Gotham would be a worse place without Batman, probably. I mean, it would be a corrupt place. I think the thing is he just made it more colorful, right?
Yeah, well,
like the violent acts are now much more interesting.
I mean, we're not going to get into the politics of it. Yeah. There are probably things that he could have done that didn't involve beating up criminals, that probably, you know, maybe help the infrastructure, maybe, you know, like build better public transportation and other things that would help the city.
Well, that's the thing. At the end of the day, like, you know, Bruce Wayne, you know, mayor of Gotham, would actually probably help it way more than Batman. But it's a thing for him. It's an itch he has to scratch. You know, and I also I think that Batman's also one of those things that, like, it became so popular that, like, it's tough, because once it becomes that big and there's that much of a spotlight on it, you know, you start scrutinizing a little more and you realize, like, oh, it doesn't add up. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, Bob Kane, the story goes, invented Batman in a weekend. Yeah. He knew that superheroes were big business. Yeah. And you know, he didn't even add the whole thing with him being an orphan until what, like, I think issue 12 or 15?
Yeah, well, and if you look back at, like, the really, really early issues, like, the madness of Batman, the way that he handles criminals, or sometimes guys that aren't even criminals.
Yeah.
Like there's this panel that, like, of there were these guys that just were mutated.
Yeah.
They didn't really even do anything that bad.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't out murdering people. And he just lynched them.
He lynched them and, like, was flying around the Batwing with them, like, their bodies. It was crazy.
Yeah. So.
But all those OG DC. I mean, remember when, like, Superman, like, blew up that like blimp or whatever, and all those guys decided, the OG DC guys were hardcore. They were insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. Moon Knight. Moon Knight's crazy.
Moon Knight is another one that is you know, absolutely literally insane.
Yeah.
You know, it can take a lot when an Egyptian, you know, like,
Egyptian deity. I mean, he started off as a mercenary, so he already, like Deadpool, was already, like, pretty, you know, had some moral issues. But I mean, he's got this, like, Egyptian god that he's the avatar of. He's also has, like, 3 distinct personalities.
Yeah.
And he's just, like, a very violent human being.
He is. It's funny, though, because, you know, there is a very big distinction between, you know, him and Deadpool, whereas, you know, Deadpool, well, first off, is intentionally funny.
Yeah.
You know, but Deadpool also does happily go back to a sort of more mercenary side whenever he feels like it.
Yeah.
You know, Moon Knight, you know, with the deity inside of him, he definitely lands more on the side of genuine hero.
Yeah.
But like completely out of his mind.
Yeah.
Which, you know, creates some of the conversations. If you're reading the comics, conversations with Moon Knight are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Like, they are just wonderful, because there's just such madness there, trying to, like, decipher what he means, if he even means anything.
Yeah.
it's fun.
You know, and I feel like that's like the kind of thing a writer wants to write.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. You get to have a lot of fun with it, but like also create a lot of almost like puzzles.
You know why he's like the most insane character ever is like he has the most impractical costume. Like every time I see his costume, I'm just like, why did you go with that? That like the hood and the arm. There's just so much. It must be like 200 pounds of costume. There's no way that's efficient.
Oh, I guess different versions. Because sometimes it's a much simpler costume.
Oh, I always think of the giant white one with the big hood, and he's got a mask, and he's got like all this armor on. And...
I think without the armor, but yeah, I don't know. I might be thinking of like earlier versions or later.
Your granddaddy's Moon Knight. Yeah. Okay, whatever.
Someone Moon Knight.
Harley Quinn.
I mean,
but she was like also a villain, so it's kind of tough.
She was a villain, but more recently especially in the comics and like the Suicide Squad, not like, I mean, obviously the movie too, sort of, they're sort of giving her a little bit of a turn, but in the more recent Suicide Squad comics, she has been a big part of them, and so turning to the hero side, but also, driven mad.
Well, it's funny though, because the only reason I bring her up is because she's like known as kind of being crazy, but also the reason she's problematic, and I know that we just put this on, is like, it's almost a separate category because she's in that like tried and true like villain who becomes hero, right? She's she's Spike or Angel from Buffy. Right. She's Vegeta in Dragon Ball. It's like such a trope to have this character that I mean Venom was one of the OGs of this. Mm-hmm. The character that is a villain that is so popular that they turn them into a hero, right? Because they know they'll sell books themselves or shows themselves. And so in a way Harley Quinn fits that role, so she's almost not part of this, but at the same time she still is.
Well, I mean, if she's a lead of books and a lead of stuff as a hero, then it counts.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, she hits people with a big hammer. She hits people with a bat. I love the babies. Yeah. I love the hyenas.
And it's an interesting thing because depending on the version, like of the insanity was kind of always there no matter what. Yeah. But in her original incarnation in Batman the Animated Series, it's like it was not a difficult thing for her to turn to the side of the Joker. Like she was just insane. To start with. Yeah. So
how about Rorschach?
Yeah,
man, Rorschach is like,
he was actually locked up for being insane.
Yeah. I mean, Rorschach's funny because he's what's the adage? Just because you're paranoid.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
I mean, he's an interesting case because he is crazy in a lot of the ways that you think of crazy people. He's essentially like a homeless guy walking around with the end his nigh sign screaming, even though a lot of that is for him to like kind of be hidden in plain sight. But he's there's no gray. He's like an absolutist, right? Yeah. It's like black or white. He just kills bad guys. Yeah. He has no qualm with anything like that.
That's how a lot of the Watchmen are.
Yeah.
But he also, he's another one with a traumatic history, right? Like, wasn't he abused as a child? And so it's one of those things where it's sort of like, he took refuge in this mask.
In the mask,
and in doing so, like, he was able to be a hero, but the trauma from his childhood still left him with these scars that really color everything that he does and the way he chooses to do those things.
And he basically like wouldn't even during his trial he would not respond to his actual name. He would only respond to Rorschach.
Yeah, it's like it's another one where the mask becomes what they feel is their face. Yeah, it's like, this is my true self.
I always like just that Rorschach is essentially like homeless Batman. Like if Batman had like no means.
Yeah, like if he didn't grow up with rich parents and Alfred.
But still wanted to like beat up criminals, he'd be Rorschach.
Yeah.
The Tick. One of my favorites, especially the
nigh
comic.
Invulnerable.
Yeah, the cartoon as a kid, really into the Tick. But the Tick is like, is definitely like Insanity 101, especially like in the comics. He's literally like escapes from a mental institution. And you don't really ever see his face. You don't even know like if he's a human, if he's an alien. Like you said, nigh invulnerable. He's a crazy, crazy character. It's a crazy world.
It is. It's one of those interesting things where it's like, he is crazy, but he does also have power, so that part of him is not crazy.
Yeah.
But trying to get a someone like the Tick to think rationally.
Yeah.
It's
good. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was always the funny thing is like Arthur went along with the ride because Arthur just wanted to be a hero so much or a sidekick so bad. But part of why the Tick works is that. I mean, that is the concept. That like he is a crazy person. So,
Well, it's funny because like because he's crazy, he ends up messing a lot of things up. Yeah. But at the same time, wins in unexpected ways
all the time.
Yeah,
he's got to win. He's the Tick. How
Spoon.
about Spoon? Yeah, okay, The Mask, and particularly the comic book version of The Mask. I don't know if you ever read the Dark Horse comic, but I did as a kid, and he did some real violent stuff in it, like chaotically violent stuff.
Yeah. Well, again, isn't that like sort of being taken over by a spirit or whatever?
Well, it was
in the mask.
The Mask of Loki.
Right. Oh my God, yes, it was. Of course.
Yeah, and so like and he became a different person. And he it was called Big Head in the actual comics, what they called him. But yeah, he was killing bad guys, like even bad guys. He was killing people a lot.
Yeah. So not just Dancing with Cameron Diaz.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that was definitely like the cute PG version of that story. It's actually really funny when you look at it and you're like, oh my God, like how do you adapt this thing? Even though the movie's great, I mean, I love that movie. But even to the point where like, Stanley after his girlfriend like stole the mask because he was going insane, like broke into her house to like steal it because he needed that mask. But so he himself had been driven insane in a way because he becomes so dependent on it. But the actual character of the mask when he has it on is bonkers. Yeah, totally bonkers.
Yeah.
And I think the only one I wanted to bring up, well, actually, there's two more. David from Legion is legitimately insane.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
actually, clinically,
if you watch the show, I mean, it takes place primarily, or at least at the beginning, in an institution.
A lot of it's in his head.
Yeah.
And he has dissociative identity disorder, which and he has like over 1,000 personalities. And they all have different powers. I mean, he's like Omega level mutant.
Yeah, and depending on when when you're watching or reading, he might be hero, might be villain, might be somewhere in between.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like it's nuts. I kind of wish we had finished the show Legion.
Yeah,
it got a little too weird for me. I couldn't do it anymore. It felt random, but it wasn't. It was great.
I mean,
it was just tough.
We got limited time.
Yeah, we got so much time. And in the comic books, Hank Pym, the Ant-Man.
Oh
is legit crazy.
Well, because the Pym particles like actually turn him crazy.
Yeah.
Like they actually affect his mental state and make it so that he just like loses his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Getting big and little, getting big. It's gotta be tough on somebody.
It's
you gotta feel like real weird.
It's true. Yeah. No, I mean, well, that was the thing. If he had just kept on, like going in the one direction, it might have been okay. But then they did fix it so that his daughter would be okay to sort of deal with it.
I want to give an honorable mention for John Crichton in Farscape. But he was actually like legitimately driven insane via torture.
Yeah.
So it's not I mean, it is, but it's like kind of like I feel bad. You know, I'm like, oh, I don't want to give him that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, I think you have to throw the Punisher in there. Like
the Punisher, of course.
It's one of those things where it's like again, it's trauma. Trauma did it. If it's in the comic books, we're literally just talking about like the emotional trauma. If you're talking about the the series, then he actually. Then it was more like a brain damage type of in addition to the emotional trauma.
It turned off like his fight or flight or something.
So, but like, those people are all.
They are all crazy.
But they are also all heroes.
Yeah. Well, oh man. Is this it?
I think that's
it. Did we do the show?
Yeah, that's the show.
So I think that you guys should go to our website because we have a lot of cool stuff. We got a lot of pictures from over the years. We actually redid it. We used to have a website, but now it's new.
It is.
And improved.
So
go on that. Check out our pictures. Check out our other stuff.
Yeah.
Check out our videos on our YouTube channel, which you might be currently on if you're watching this.
It's possible.
If you're listening to this on Spotify or some other place or Indie 100, then go to our website. Watch this. Watch the video. that you're watching right now.
Right.
Watch the video that you're watching right now.
Yeah.
It's getting really confusing.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Have you driven yourself insane?
Yeah. Well, clearly. Yeah. Just doing research for the show has driven me bonkers.
Yeah.
But no, it's just because we've always only done this as a radio show.
I know. So now, do we tell them to listen? Do we tell them to watch?
It's driving me absolutely bonkers.
Well,
I have no clue.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us.
Yeah. Do it.
And, you know, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Well, or you'll hear us next time. Either way.
Yeah. Leave a comment on the video or, you know, like... Or our website, because right on the front page we have a comment thing too. So
we do.
Just, you know, and mostly praise. Like, you guys are really great and like awesome, totally amazing. Then work. Yeah, I'll be good with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Bye.
Right, bye.